Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Passion Perspective, a look at everything in the world of sex and relationships today. I'm Emily.
And I'm MC Tobette from Relationship Bliss.
And once again, we're here to bring you a sort of special mini episode in the midst of all of this corona business that's going on. So if you missed it, our first episode of this series focused on what people can be doing to increase the romance in their relationship, seeing as most people that are listening to this are probably kind of holed up at home together, which can present some unique challenges. So the first episode looked at romance. This episode, we're going to be looking a little bit more on the sexual side of things. We're going to be looking at ways. Exactly. And we like to call it turning your cabin fever into sex fever. That's our official working title.
That's our working title. So much fun. That just came out when we felt really bad, cabin fever, right, Emily? And then it just came out. Yeah, let's get some sex fever going here.
That's right. Because the irony is, although a lot of us are spending way more time together, that can sometimes actually put a damper on some people's sex lives. Because I know MC in the last episode, you talked a little bit about people getting a bit more irritable. It's easier to notice people's quirks and the little things that maybe you don't usually really care about or notice, but being around them 24/7 might change that. So we wanted to do this episode that's dedicated to all the fun things you can do to sort of keep things sexy and fun while you're in this particular time. So MC, what can we tell people first and foremost about keeping things sexy?
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop doing that voice, but
yeah, just keep it going. Actually, a part of what I want to talk about is to sound sexy when you're having sex.
So not like me.
Yes, you sound great.
Do not use this voice.
You sound great, Emily. Don't cut yourself short.
Oh, that's kind.
I wonder what your sex kitten voice sounds like.
Oh, that'll maybe come out later when I finish some of this wine, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so this is all about you guys helping you to come out different at the other end of this. Like, have your couple look very much better instead of worse. Because right now, ask yourself, are you going in the right direction, your couple, during this COVID? Are we going to a place where we're going to feel more connected, or are we going to be more apart? And this could be a time where couples could probably even divorce. So if you're that couple, you'll definitely be needing these tips. And if you need help, I'm always there to help you at relationshipbliss.ca. And I really love helping couples at any stage of wherever you're at. Even at the beginning, I have a couple who just moved in together and they just wanted to get help from the beginning to make sure they're starting off right. So we're starting off right today by teaching you a lot about sexuality and the fun, sexy ideas that you can have in the bedroom. So why not come up with some ways for you to have a lot of fun and feel more connected and feel more joy? And the next day after you have a blast with your partner, you're going to let go of those small quirky things. That's going to be in the past, and you're going to be just thinking of how much fun you had last night. So here comes some ideas. We'll go right into the sexy talk. That was down my list, but why not just start with the sexy talk? So I thought it'd be really fun for you to try to sound like sexy sex kitten kind of game where you go into this tonight. Let's have sex tonight, but everything we're going to do is going to be all about talking sexy to sound sexy. And if you make it into a game, it won't be as intimidating, because for a lot of people, sexy talk sounds intimidating. And now you can laugh at your sexy talk because it's something that you're doing together. You're checking this out. And what comes out of it at the end, you're going to see if you like this or not. Ask each other, do we like this? Is this something you want to do again? So have some sexy talks and maybe tell your partner what you would like and what it would sound like. Mm-hmm. So some things that you can do is just give the person orders. That could be sexy for some people.
I can see that going. I'm sorry. I can just see that. Yes. I can just see that going in one of two ways, but I like it. I like the idea. It's either.
You like it? You like the idea? So maybe you can check in with each other and make give each other a sign to see if it's not going in the direction that you want it to go. And then you could laugh about that and get back to a different kind of direction, which might be do the play-by-play, whatever you're doing or whatever you're feeling. So you say aloud what you're enjoying and what you're feeling. Oh my God, this feels so good. And you could just talk in your, I'm not going to start talking sexy right now because I don't think anybody wants to hear a 60 plus woman talk sexy on a.
Oh my God, MC, you have a great sexy voice. In all seriousness, it's way better than mine.
No, your voice is awesome. So yeah, you can even say like, I don't want to sound crude. Like if you're like the innocent kind of sounding girl, you say I don't want to sound crude, but your penis feels so velvety awesome. And you can talk like that. It could be fun to, for a guy to hear that, or another guy to hear that from another guy. Yeah.
But I just had an idea because I know for a lot of people, the like dirty talk, sexy talk is, like you said, very intimidating. Yeah. I would just a couple of points that I just thought of. You don't have to sound like a porn star. I think that's a really common misconception where people they've seen porn and people are like, and that's where my like joke sexy voice comes from in this, because it is this like, it's suddenly everything becomes like this. You don't have to sound like that. Two, if you're not really sure what to say, something that could be fun, both sexy and humorous, is there's a lot of excerpts of like erotica online, or maybe you have like a Harlequin romance book or like erotica in your home, and you can just read things from that to each other, and you can make it as funny or as serious as you want it to be. And that can be a good way of just maybe getting ideas if you're not really sure where to start. And I find it works for all kinds of people. So that's also an idea.
I love that idea. That's a fun idea. And I'll take it a little bit further. And everybody out there, I want you to know that Emily's an actress. She just did a play not too long ago. She was awesome. She played a mom, which is crazy because she's so young looking. But you can act out the scene that you're reading. So the romance scene that you're reading, so many like women, let's face it, a lot of women like romance, and they dream about their man or their woman doing these things to them, right? They're dreaming about that and they get excited. They might not get enough of that in their everyday lives. So they get really into these romance novels and these erotic books. So why not act one of those scenes out during this time? So that'd be a lot of fun. You'll be making her or his dreams come true, I promise you. That could be something else that's really, really fun to do. So Emily and I both, a few years ago, probably 4 years ago now, Emily, we did a burlesque dance. We took a class. It was about 4 years ago, right?
I think so, yeah, which is insane. It was super fun.
It was fun. If you have, every city's got burlesque now. Take a burlesque class. Well, not right now during the coronavirus. However, if you look in the links, I will put some links to a couple burlesque dances. I've already sent one to Emily that I really liked. It's just a 5-minute burlesque dance. It's more dancing, I find. And you could get into the more sensual moves by you flirting with your eyes and going really slow. Mm-hmm. Get the music that suits the moves, but the moves in there are quite good. You could maybe make up your own moves or just do a choreography. If you need choreography, we'll put it in the show notes and you'll be able to see a really fun burlesque that you can do in the next couple of days. Practice. It gives you something better to do than watching TV, watching all the latest news on this. Get into a room by yourself and say, do not disturb. And you tell your partner or your kids or whoever's there, you're not allowed in the room, and get in there and practice your burlesque dance. And then in a couple of days, out comes this burlesque dancer.
And keep an eye too, because there's lots of great, like the link that MC that we've posted below for some online tutorials. There may be some dance classes in your area that are doing Facebook live streams of their classes. So that might be worth looking into too, just as an alternative.
Awesome idea. I love it. So, so something that might be a little bit scary, we're really getting into some scary territory today, because when you get vulnerable, you get closer as a couple. So we got into the sexy talk, which can be scary for a lot of people. We're going to get into asking your partner to touch themselves.
Ooh.
That could be vulnerable and scary, right? Do you think so, Emily? Do you think that could be scary for some people?
Oh my gosh. I think yes. I think that's I think that puts people in a very vulnerable position.
Yes.
It can feel performative, which is not always a lot of people's comfort zones. So yes, I can definitely see that being very intimidating, or people might immediately go, "Oh, that's not for me." But to those people, I would say, hear MC out on this.
So when you touch yourself, it's showing confidence, and your partner will really enjoy that. And it might be hard for you to do that at first, but I recommend that you do it in the shower, in the bathtub, because this mindfulness kind of relating to your body really helps you to get into your sensuality, your sexuality, and it gets you out of your head. And I teach this to especially the women that I see in my sessions. I teach them how to get out of their head and into their bodies, because some of them just want to get the job done. Let's get this over with. And making love, that's not making love. That's performing for your partner so that you can satisfy them, like you got this job ticked off. And it's really, really fun to get into touching yourself and learning what feels good for you. And often what happened to us in our early years have stopped us from doing that. Maybe shame, maybe other things like abuse, etc. And if you have any of that, get some help for it. I've been working a lot lately with women, especially that have been sexually abused. I ask them to go get help, like go get some therapy. Once that's done, they know in their head that it's not their fault, and they don't know why it's still bothering them, and they still have trouble getting into their bodies with regards to making love. So I have some exercises that I do with them that have been working really, really well to get them to really love themselves, get into their sensuality, get into their womanhood, and get into the way you love to like get to feel again, the way that a child would touch themselves and love themselves again. And a man too, any man that would have had any sexual abuse, the same thing goes for them. It goes both ways. You have to get used to touching yourself again and really feeling yourself and enjoying that feeling the way a child would feel that way, without the shame, etc. So if you can ask your partner to touch yourself, or you could say, I want to touch myself for you, if you want to try that. If it's really not possible for you to do that, that's okay. You can do some other things that we're going to suggest. And maybe down the road, you're going to find that there's a time where you're ready to do that. And that'll be great. It'll be just.
Yeah, I think mutual masturbation, or like watching a partner masturbate, I think it's one of those very underrated sexual activities, because people often think of it as only including kind of one person. But I would argue that that's not at all the case. And to your point, MC, I think that if it's something that makes sense for people to start doing on your own, because maybe there's a lot of people that, don't start masturbating, or maybe have never masturbated on their own. And I would say, if there's any hesitation about going directly for the obvious erogenous zones, I would also say that masturbation isn't relegated only to your breasts and your vulva and your penis. Like, anything that feels good to touch is, by definition, kind of masturbatory. And to your point, MC, that kind of childlike open-mindedness to exploration is really important. So if you're not comfortable, diving right in and starting with like touching your vulva, start with your chest or your shoulders or your arms or your legs, anything that feels good. And doing that, like, a lot of the things you're going to notice are things that you can do whether or not you're in self-isolation. Like, these tips apply anytime. But the nice thing, exactly. Yeah. But the nice thing is, right now, especially if you're starting off slow, you're starting with just yourself, this is something you can do when you're in the shower. And it's not goal oriented. The purpose of it is not to orgasm. It's literally just to like MC, you were saying, being mindful and being aware and seeing what things feel like and working yourself up to that. And once you've done that, if you're ready to do it with a partner, it's really, really it can be really hot and very intimate.
Yes.
It's a great intimacy building activity for everybody, for anybody.
Exactly. And I'm working on putting a course together all about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's we got to take our time a lot more and focus on each other more and be more mindful when we make love. And that's something that I want to offer in the future. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Fun. Yeah. Yeah. So, side by side masturbation. Also, if we're talking in the other show about what happens when your partner lives far away, mutual masturbation is really hot. And to be honest with you, it's probably one of the most erotic things that I've done with my partner, because it's something for me, it was hugely taboo. So again, you could start really slowly and just do, play with your breasts, just to start on one. If you're online with your partner, let's say your partner is in the armed forces and you're not together, you can just go online and just start really slowly and just play with your breasts in front of them for one visit. And then the next visit, you can take it a little bit further, go down, and then work down to the inside of your thighs, and just like play with yourself very sensually and very, very slowly, and do this step by step. That way and just baby steps is probably a better word for it, so that you can get used to it, because it might be hard to just go do it. It might be too scary. So definitely, this is something that you could do when your partner lives far away.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yes. And if your partner has coronavirus, did you see that the Chinese couple that had she had coronavirus, and he walked in with a whole suit and gave her food and all that kind of stuff? Did you see that video?
No, I missed that.
He didn't catch coronavirus, and chances are when you're in your couple, you're going to catch it, and it's okay. You're going to go through it together. If you're young, it'll be fine, no problem. So it was really fun, because they were texting each other, and I'm just visualizing sexting each other. Maybe not when you're in the full fever state, but
yeah,
when you're like, what do you do when you're getting into that? That's 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. Like, let's have some fun while you're there. So so that could be something that could be fun to do. And I think a lot of people will really get off on this. This might be hard if you have kids in the house, but if you're really quiet, you might be able to pull it off. And if your kids are definitely sound sleepers, you'll be able to pull it off. And that's to try to have sex in every room in your house, and try a different position in every room in your house.
Oh.
So you can now baptize that room that you're in reverse cowgirl. That could be the reverse cowgirl room.
That's hilarious. It's a good choice word for that.
Yeah, the den is now the reverse cowgirl room. So you can have a lot of fun with that and just try different things. I want to remind you that most women have an orgasm through clitoral stimulation. And the clitoris actually goes from the clitoris, which is the bulb, the head, all the way up to where the G spot is. So, in this kind of, hold on. Can you just hold on? I've got a visual for you.
Oh, we've got a visual, everybody. For anybody who's watching this on YouTube, for anyone who's listening, you'll get detailed play-by-play descriptions. But yeah, it's for anybody that does have kids with them in your self-quarantine. That's something that MC's had some great tips on. If you listen to our last episode, there was some great tips about how involved your kids can be with the romance side of things. Maybe not so much on the sexuality side of things, but there's some really great stuff that you can do even with them on the premises. Oh, and MC's back with her delightful prop here.
Yes, so I have, this is the clitoris. And just now when I took my clitoris out of my bell vulva, I just lost the head. So it's no longer there. There used to be a little ball here. Can't have a ball anymore.
Oh, well.
So anyways, it's still good enough to be able to show you that the pleasure isn't just here. As a matter of fact, when you pleasure a woman here, it might be too much, especially at the beginning. You definitely would have to warm her up a lot before you get to that. And something that's really pleasurable is to to stroke this side. Usually the left side is often the spot that women like. Maybe try right beside the head, and maybe further down. Maybe put your whole hand or maybe both hands down each side, because guess what this is? These are the legs, and this is the clitoral bulbs. So there's pleasure to be had all over there, and it's not as
sensitive.
Sensitive when you have direct stimulation right here.
And MC, for anybody who's not watching this, so just so you have an idea, so the clitoris, what MC was just holding, it looks kind of like a wishbone from like a turkey.
Exactly.
And so you have the bulb that's kind of at the top, and that's the clitoral head that you can see. If you look at a vulva, you can usually see the clitoris, and that's the part that's really, really sensitive. And so MC, what you were saying is the legs, quote unquote, legs of the clitoris extend down. And is that kind of like near like where the lips are, or is this going back into the body? Like what?
It's going into the body. So it goes under the lips, the inner lips, and then it goes into the body, outside the vagina and right to the G-spot. That's why the G-spot is a sensitive spot. So it goes all the way there. So really, you've got to pleasure this area. And be sure to pleasure somebody before you get into the G-spot. You have to make sure that they're fully warmed up for that, because the G-spot actually is the size of a dime. Mm-hmm. When stimulated, it can become up to the size of about a quarter. So these people that are saying, I can't find my G-spot, is probably because they need to have a lot more stimulation.
Right.
This is a full-on sex ed class.
I know. Well, I was just going to say, I feel like the main takeaway from this is, and everybody listen up, I feel like there's two camps. There's often a camp of people who don't know what the clitoris is at all and don't pay attention to it. But then there's the other side of things where it's like, that's the only thing that people focus on and they go right for it. And I think what people don't always recognize is, for some people that feels good, but for a lot of people, it's so sensitive. It's way too much. And so don't just focus on that, on the little clitoral head that you can see. Like the whole vulva is really sensitive, the inner thighs, you can wake, to your point, MC, talking about the G-spot and things being kind of properly aroused fully. You can use the whole body for that to get to that point. You don't have to focus only on that one tiny little area. And in fact, most partners would probably, well, I can't say that. Some people might really like that, but a lot of people, you don't have to focus only on that point. It might be a little bit too much.
Yes. So what I want to say to everybody is, when we went from room to room and we're trying all these different positions, make sure that the clitoris is always available for either your finger, her finger, or a vibrator or a sex toy, because she's probably not going to get, I mean, it feels good to have a penis inside. No doubt it feels good, but most women need to have the clitoris stimulated at the same time. Some sex positions, you feel the G-spot stimulated more, so you get like double pleasure that way. So that's for another lesson.
Yeah, sure is.
Just make sure when you're going from room to room doing all these fun positions that you don't ignore this girl.
Mm-hmm.
The clip. Okay, so we'll do some more fun things. Can you think of any yourself, Emily, that you do during the coronavirus time?
Well, some of them there's a bit of I suppose it's a bit of an overlap, but in terms of like sexual, we've talked about this in some of our previous podcasts, but sexual simmering, which is this idea of, foreplay starts well before you're in the bedroom. And I think that is especially important now, when it may feel like you don't need to do any foreplay because you're around each other all the time. I would argue now is the time that it's most important. And when I say foreplay, I don't mean oral sex. I think that's a terrible name for that. That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. What I mean by foreplay is being turned on before you're ever even physical with each other. And when you're together for long periods of time, it's easy to kind of assume that all of that goes out the window, but I would say it's really important. So some ideas that I had for that, if you're taking a bath or a shower or something, maybe a bath, take some sexy pictures of yourself and send them to your partner who's just outside the door, but have the door locked. They can't come in. Like you can do something like that to sort of get the end rubbing a little bit. I think we talked about turning kind of regular day activities into something a bit sexier. If you're doing the dishes or you're vacuuming, why not do it in some nice lingerie or something, or with your shirt off or whatever makes you feel sexy. But sort of shaking up things that feel like they're just normal everyday things and putting a nice little twist on it.
Yeah, just wear an apron, nothing else, just the apron.
I love it. I don't think enough people have aprons anymore. People in my generation, I feel like often people don't have them, and they're an underutilized sexual accessory that I think we should all invest in.
Exactly.
I love that, the apron.
I want us to pay attention to some of those areas during foreplay that we don't spend enough time. And I want to talk about the inner thighs.
Oh, yes. I love a good inner thigh.
The inner thighs are the most sensual, sexy spot to do teasing. You know, you go from the inner thighs, you go, up to the vulva, but you don't go close, you go beside it. And then you go back to the thighs again, spend some time there. Just use your fingers, use your lips, use your breasts. That could be fun for some guys to feel some breasts on their inner thighs, right, guys? And for women too that enjoy that. So that could be a really fun thing to do. And then tease. So you run your finger down the thighs, and then you just go close to the clitoris, but not too close. You run maybe softly above it. Same thing with the penis. You just work those thighs, you work up, and you go around the belly, back down, and you just like slip your hand a little bit beside it, and then you just want more, right? The person just saying, "Oh, I want her to touch me. I want her to touch me." Those people out there that say that they have libido issues, you might have some teasing issues. You might have a little bit more teasing, a need for the tease, I would say, in your life. What do you think, Emily?
Oh, I totally agree. And again, I think that can start well before you're ever even in the bathroom or the reverse cowgirl room or wherever you are. Literally anywhere. I think teasing is great.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So I want to give an idea, a bit of a twist to what we typically do. Typically, guys go to guys don't do this, but some guys go to strip clubs, right? So why not have the guy strip for her? Put your clothes on and start stripping for your girl. Get those moves going. Let's reverse things a little bit and have them do some online shopping and get some sexy underwear and do like a little fashion show and bring out all your moves, your goofy moves. It's time to take them out. It'll be cute and it'll be appreciated. You put the effort like that and it's going to be so much fun. And then if you like, you can reciprocate and do some really fun stripping to some sexy music. Download a whole playlist of stripping music. There's some really good playlists out there.
Yes. And this kind of goes back actually, MC, to the burlesque idea. It's just burlesque is for everybody, I might add. Guys, girls, whoever, everyone can get some ideas, and it can be really, really fun. And again, you can make it kind of like the whole erotica thing. You can make it as fun or as serious as you want it to be. I know stripping can feel really, really terrifying for a lot of people. Make it your own. And if you're not comfortable with that, there's so many other things that we've talked about here that are also on the table. So no sweat. That's not to pressure anybody into doing anything, but it can be really fun. It can be really funny if you wanted to. So you've got nothing but time. So if you're feeling up to it, try it out and see.
Strip. And you know what? If it's something you really want to do, but you feel shy, fake it till you make it. Fake it. Get into the feeling. Be an actress. Fake it and really feel what it would feel like to be a stripper and just try to get into that. And if you make a goofy move, laugh it off.
Just put a balaclava on your face or pantyhose. Just anything. Just put it on and then it's amazing. I say that though, but in all seriousness, I'm joking. / maybe do that if you want to, but mostly I'm joking. But I do have to say, stripping and stuff can be very, again, can feel very vulnerable. And so there is something to be said about doing something that makes you feel like you can be somebody else, whether that if you have a mask or you have something like that, can be very empowering to get you going, if that's something. But just some ideas that might just be the actor in me coming out. But I find it very helpful because when I get shy about things, it's helpful to have a character and because it takes you out of yourself and suddenly you're not quite as self-conscious. So that's an idea too. If you're ever feeling shy, you can try either wearing a mask or try putting on a character, so to speak. Sometimes that can be fun.
Oh yeah, one of those, those really nice masks that you
like a masquerade mask or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Got one. A lot of them they're easy to make. If you've got some cardboard around, that's a fun craft.
Get crafty.
Get crafty.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. So let me think of some more things here. Yes, I've got 3 more things, I think. Let me just see. Yes, I've got. So this isn't as sexy, but it'll make you feel sensual so that you can get sexy. So this could probably go into the romance side. But I'm going to throw it in here because you can. I think I'm going to do 4 tips. I think I've got 4 more tips for you.
Just go for it. We've got nothing but time, MC.
Yes, we have time. So did you guys hear my husband just come in the kitchen? This is how it is, right? We're all in this together. So I would say a really fun thing to do that you would probably do with a girlfriend and your girlfriend's not available is to do a spa day with your partner. So what would that look like? You would do couples massage. You take turns massaging each other, massage each other's feet. Pretend you could go online and do some YouTubes on reflexology. You can go online and do couples massages. I go online to learn all my massages. I do a lot of massage therapy. I've taken a lot of courses, and lately I haven't done any courses. I just go on YouTube and I learn trigger point massage. I've learned lomi massages. Go on there and learn a new style of massage, and it's going to be so much fun for you to do that on your spa day. You can do a homemade mask. I've done that before, where you just do the avocado mask. It's all natural, and frankly, you shouldn't put anything on your face or on your body that you can't eat. So put an avocado mask on your partner and then lick it off.
Oh, yeah. Usually we wouldn't advocate people licking each other's faces in this current environment, but with your partner that you're living with, it's probably fine.
You're in this together.
That's right.
Together. You got to have fun together. So that could be a really fun thing to do.
Definitely.
So you're ending your massage by, you're ending your spa day by just getting into the massage and making that an erotic massage, getting carried away. And that leads me to my next activity is to pretend that you're a massage therapist that gets carried away. So you're the massage therapist that gets carried away. So you knock at the door, you come in, and you can pretend that you give yourself fictitious names, because when you're isolated like this, pretend you're different people.
It's like the beginning of your very own porn movie.
Yes, exactly.
The pizza delivery man's here.
Ooh.
But I like the spa thing is, well, actually, I think pizza's pretty sexy, but I think the spa thing is sexier.
Yeah, the spa thing can be really, really sexy, and it could be really fun. Like, this is a time to experiment, guys. Experiment to see what different things you might like. It's time to see what turns you on, what turns your partner on. And the way you do that is by communicating and asking for what you want. Say, I'd like us to explore this, or I'd like to explore that tonight. Are you into it? And if they say no, then you say, well, what can I do to help you to get into it? Like, is there anything? Are you tired? Can I help you? Can I give you a little massage so you can have a nap right now? Like, just try to see what you can do to help the person. Because sometimes you are really tired and you would get into the mood to do a lot of things if you got help around the house, if you could just have time to sleep, take care of the kids while you have a nap in the afternoon, and then you have more energy in the evening when the kids go to bed.
And
Maybe something simple.
I think that ties in really nicely, MC, to the idea that, especially in the current situation that we're in, sometimes what people need to feel sexy is a little bit of alone time or a little bit of distance, as much as you can give them in whatever situation you're in. Like I've said before, like I'm in an apartment, we don't have a ton of space, but there's enough space that, yeah, sometimes the other person might just need a nap. They might need an hour to just read quietly by themselves, and that's fine. I think something is important that we all not take too personally when people say that they need time to themselves, or if people seem kind of snappy or they're having trouble. Sometimes the thing to do is just let people, don't take it personally. Let them go have a bath or have a shower or have a nap or play guitar or go play video games for a little bit if they need to. And that's okay. To be sexy and keep things sexy doesn't mean that you constantly have to be together on each other, naked, semi-naked. Like, a lot of the times the distance is what helps with that later.
Exactly.
So just to keep that.
Good point, Emily. If your partner is an introvert, that would definitely be the case, because the way an introvert charges is by recharging by themselves. So yeah, check into each other. And the same goes for somebody who's an extrovert. You might be doing your own thing all day long, and your extrovert person is feeling super lonely and they need people. So be sure you do the same thing for them. Check in with them. Pretend you're all these different people. all these different people coming into their lives. Go for it. Have some fun. So I guess the final activity that I'd like to suggest is to pretend that you're an escort. Because, when you're an escort, you're paid to really give your partner, your client pleasure. So if you pretend you're an escort, you have the mindset that I'm getting paid big bucks to give this person, my partner, my spouse, pleasure, where it's this person. It's, again, fake name, another person coming into your lives that is going to be, bringing you pleasure. And when you get into the escort scenario, it's really about like you getting into your confidence. An escort is super confident, and confidence is sexy. And if you get into that escort scenario, you might find that you feel sexy, and you're just trying to find ways to really pleasure your partner. So how do you do that? You tune into the body language, tune into the breath. So if they start breathing heavier, that's a sign that they're enjoying themselves. Some sounds might come out of their bodies. So tune into those the body language, so that you can see how to pleasure your partner, or even just talk out loud and talk in your escort voice and ask what they want.
That's fun. I like that. I think that's really fun.
We'll end with that. We'll end with the escort coming in to pleasure you while you're going through coronavirus. Can you imagine doing all of these things, or even just doing half of these things? At the end of this coronavirus thing, you're going to think, I had such a good time. And then maybe later on down the road, when you're not having so much fun and you're tuned into social media more, and you're tuned into your work more, and you can think back, when did we have fun in our lives? During that coronavirus time, we had a blast. Mm-hmm. Let's bring that back. Let's bring that time back so that we can stay connected and loving each other, love each other as a couple. That's what you have to do. You have to get innovative. That's what Esther Perel says. Innovation is super important when you want to make your marriage work. And these are all innovative ideas. I hope you like them. Thank you so much, Emily. You were awesome. You gave really good ideas, and it was fun.
Oh, it's always fun. And MC, maybe you can tell people where they can find you if people want to learn more or want to connect with you.
Yes, I'm at relationshipbliss.ca. You can find me on Facebook, also on Relationship Bliss. And you can actually make a 15-minute appointment with me if you just want to explore to see if we can work together. I help couples with all kinds of issues, all things sexual. I'd love to help you, and so that you can connect more and love each other more. So I'm looking forward to meeting you. And I also have a book. It's called The Honeymoon Playbook. You can find it at honeymoonplaybook.com. And I hope to meet you someday.
It's awesome. And most of the stuff in Honeymoon Playbook you can do indoors, just the two of you, no other people required. So would definitely recommend that. If you guys like what you're hearing, we'd really appreciate if you're able to like us and rate us on iTunes or wherever you're listening. And we'll be back with another one of these mini episodes in a few days. So we look forward to chatting with you then. Thanks, everybody. And everyone stay healthy, stay safe. We're all in this together. We'll talk to you soon.